Hello learners of all ages, my name is Mr. Montgomery and I teach 4th and 5th grade math. And today we're going to be learning about thousands. Now, when we're going to be talking about thousands, it's probably really important for us to review what place value is. Place value is the value that a number has in its number, essentially. So if I have the number 732,833, and I want to know the value of this 3 here, well, I have to figure out what place value is it in, because right now, if I just read it as a 3, it's just a 3. If I go up on my place value chart that I have right above, it is right underneath the tens place. So I've lined it up. So I have a 3 in the tens place. Well, a 3 in the tens place is essentially saying 3 times 10. And 3 times 10 is 30. So this would have a value of 30. And it's important for us to get the names of the numbers correct with the place value, because if you've ever been called the wrong name before, it kind of rubs you the wrong way, right? And so we want to get those names correct, not just with numbers, but with decimal points as well as fractions. Something that you should know about the number line. The further left you go, the larger the numbers get. The further right you go, the smaller the numbers get. And there's something that we're going to be talking about further on in this chapter about times 10 and 1/10 eventually. But today we're going to be focusing on the thousands. And each group is divided up into a different color on my chart, as well as the chart that is in your book. But they call them periods. And periods are in groups of 3. So if I'm starting at the ones place, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, and notice that there is a comma right here. We separate periods with commas. That's going to be very important here pretty quick. But we have the number down here, 732,833. And they want us to know, well, what is the value of each of these individual numbers? 7, 3, and 2. Now, if you heard while I read it out, 732,833. We're going to be making sure that we know the value of 7. So 7, if I go up and line it up, it's in the 100,000ths place. Well, 7 in the 100,000ths place is essentially the same thing as saying 7 times 100,000. And that equals 700,000. We're going to do the same thing for the 3 over here. It's a 3 that's in the 10,000 spot. It's essentially saying that 3 times 10,000, and 3 times 10,000 is 30,000. And so on for 2. 2 times, it's in the thousands place. 2 times 1,000 is 2,000. And so we can go bit by bit in order to figure out how to read the number, or especially to find what the value of an individual digit is. And the place value chart can also help us figure out how to read the number name, or some people call it written form. And so I have a number right here. We're going to go period by period. Do you see how I lined it up in the thousands family and the ones family, or period? The reason I say period and family is because my chart's in family, but we use period in sadly in math. But I have my 730 right there, and it's under the thousands period. So I'm going to say 730,000. Move on to the next section. 925, and that's in the ones, so I'm just going to read it as 925. Again, 730,925. So now that we know how to read it by going piece by piece and period by period, we can now write it in word form, kind of like a little name tag for the number. We have 730,000. That kind of matches up with what we're going here. Last section should be 925. 925. Now, something that is a very common error with students that I have taught, they want to say 925. You'll find out that and actually has a name for a very special friend that's right here on the place value chart, the decimal point. Now, if I can have my friends turn to page number 1, we're going to be doing practice problem number 1 and 7. Practice problem number 1, the directions say, write the number name for each number. So they give you the number in standard form, the way that you typically see numbers, and they want you to create that name tag written out. So we have our number there. And we have problem number 7, which the directions say, write the number in standard form. They have the number name right there, but they want you to write the number in standard form, similar to how it looks currently in number 1. So pause the video now, write down your answers, and bring them back to class.